put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to the morning show on Tobago Updates Television, and thank you so much for staying with us. We begin conversations this morning. We start off by speaking with Mrs. Beverly Ramsey-Moore. She is the president of Tobago, and of course, our topic this morning is the inclusion of the Steelpan on our coat of arms. Good morning, Mrs. Moore, and welcome.
Good morning to you, Adanna. Good morning, Tobago. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago and the rest of the world, all Steelpan enthusiasts.
And of course, very patriotic in your outfit this morning. I must commend you on it. I know it's a very, very proud moment for all of us in Trinidad and Tobago when the announcement was made that the Steelpan is now our national instrument. And so, conversation again in the air, we are going to have a change on a national emblem to include our national instruments. From where you sit, how do you feel? Let's talk about the emotional part of it. How do you feel about that discussion that is happening in the air now?
Well, I was not in Trinidad and Tobago when the announcement was made. I was invited by a group in Florida, which is the Trinidad and Tobago Independence Ball Committee. They celebrated the 62nd anniversary. They had their function on Saturday, and so I was there giving my speaker a keynote address, and I was even given an award for being a trailblazer in the work that I do now in Tobago. And so immediately after that, and I went to my seat, and then I saw the message come through my phone, and I was like, whoa, you mean this is really, really happening in truth? Because a number of persons has been lobbying, not only persons or people in Trinidad and Tobago, but in the diaspora. I remember when I just became president, and I went to a function in, I think it was in the same Miami Carnival, and there was this lady who had invited desperados, all stars, and renegades to perform. And there she was with her own coat of arms and with the steel pan in it. And she was like, oh, you need to lobby and get the government to do this. To tell you the truth, it was shocking because I did not expect it to happen so fast. And when I say so fast, it was only recently on the 9th of August that we obtained that special branding, that intellectual property protection of the steel pan, which is a geographical indication which says once and for all, Trinidad and Tobago is the birthplace of the steel pan. And so I believe based on all that would have come out of that World Steel Pan Conference, Tobago being the successful applicant for the geographical indication, that probably would have spurred on the Prime Minister to make the announcement, of which we are extremely grateful.
And you're quite right. You know, it came like in rapid succession because, as you said, just on the 9th of August, and now are we talking about once the legislative adjustments are made, projected to be by the 24th of September. This change is going to begin at a phased basis. Of course, as I mentioned, national pride, a proud moment for all of us in Trinidad and Tobago. Of course, there are different opinions and views in the public space. There's a court of public opinion, and so everybody has an opinion to make. Someone says, yes, we are for it. Other people are saying, no, it doesn't make any sense. People are giving their reasons and their recommendations, and all sorts of conversations are happening after the announcement was made. Rightfully so and justfully so, we're all entitled to our opinions. But in terms of where you are, I understand that we've been lobbying for it. Do you think at this time that it is the right decision to be made? Also, in terms of the phase-by-phase basis in getting it done, we're talking now about counting the cost in terms of changing out the emblem on all of our national, whether it's vehicles, our currency. We're talking about every single thing that has the coat of arms having to be changed out within a 6-month period, and the cost that is going to carry, the financial cost I'm talking about here. How do you see that rolling out, especially in where we are right now economically and everything anything else that is happening in the country?
Now, the only thing that is constant is change, and change must come. Change is going to come. I am sure that the government would have thought this out. The Prime Minister did not just announce that off the top of his head. I am sure much thought would have been given to it. And I mean, this is a moment for the country to stand and be proud. The Steelpan is all inclusive. It is ours. It came from the very people, the struggle, the resilience, its national pride. Why not? You know, I was talking with a group of young people, and some of them were, what is it? Pinta and the Nina and the Santa Maria. What is that? Some of them don't even know. They don't even know, but they know the Steelpan. They understand Pan is Trinidad and Tobago. And so, yes, there is going to be a cost. But at the end of the day, it is all about national pride. It is all about lifting the status of the instrument. It is all about the geographical indication. It is all about business, bringing in foreign exchange, exporting our manufacturing industry, and all of that. Now, I saw some screaming headlines about racial tension and all this nonsense that is taking place right now. Listen, when you look at what happens even during carnival time, during panorama time, even at all the events that we are having, I don't see any racial tension. Pan is unifying Trinidad and Tobago. Pan is our people. And so I really, really know, of course, there are going to be those who will always oppose. But at the end of the day, I think it is the best for Trinidad and Tobago. I am so happy. This is all happening under my watch, and we will continue to advocate. We will continue to give the various explanations. And at the end of the day, I am sure Trinidad and Tobago will definitely buy into it. That is the majority of people.
And you know, something keeps popping up with this conversation, and I've said it before. It's a moment for national pride. But my question now is, do we understand what national pride is? And do we walk in national pride? Because national pride to me is a shift in our mindset, a shift in our attitude, a shift in the way we appreciate the things that are indigenous to Trinidad and Tobago. Do you think we are there yet? And do you think that this change out now can help us to focus more on that aspect?
Well, exactly. What is really national pride? Do we believe in national pride? You know, even when we sing our anthem and all of that, to some people, the national anthem is just another song. Hurry up and get that out of the way. You know, and I think this is something that must be instilled from the very kindergarten school into the primary school. How proud we are. You know, when you hear your national anthem, you know, people being singing that anthem, and you feel this pride. Even when you play the national instrument, we say to our players all the time, remember the work of the ancestors. Remember, this came out of struggle and resilience. Remember, there was a banning. And even though, because let me tell you something, in Miami, where I went to receive this award, and so as the function began, there was the Tassa drums, there was the African drums, but at the end of the day, there was the banning of a particular drum. And the resilience of a people, the struggle of a people, kicking against the very same Pinta, Nina, and Santa Maria, the colonial masters, knows that you have something to be extremely proud about, birthed right here in Trinidad and Tobago. The music, and it's not just about the music, it's about the people, it's about the community. Pan is happy music, Pan unites, Pan is about bringing in foreign exchange. Pan was born out of the very bosom, whether it's the African, whether it's the Indian, because we see how we all come together whenever the music is being played. How we all come together in the very panyards, how we all come together because Pan is intergenerational. And now, you know, they were talking about the patent. Let me tell you something. You scream to the top of your voice, oh, we ain't had no patent for no Pan. We lost the patent. You know why? You remember in the early days, the Pan men were the outcast in society, the very instrument So all these years that we procrastinated about the instrument, the acceptance of the instrument, it took until 1956, even though it is the only musical instrument created in the 20th century, it took until 1956 when Eric Williams came on board, where national acceptance began. And so here it is, you've brought this instrument to a level where you can now export the instrument to a level where not only the export of the instrument itself, but our arrangers, our tuners. Right now, most of our tuners are abroad in New York or in Miami. Our arrangers in England, Panorama, all over the world, they are gone. The talent is being exported, the services are being exported. So it's an entire industry of love and patriotism. And I'm saying to you, that this is a moment for national pride. Your head must swell. You must be so proud of our achievement. And I really, really feel proud as a Tobagonian, as a female leader. I feel proud of this moment. Yes, they're going to be pushed back, but at the end of the day, Pan will win again.
Yes, definitely. And I'm listening to your discourse there, and I'm thinking now, do you think it is important for us to ensure that the education is taught in the schools, that people have an understanding, so that when we get to these big conversations, we can contribute in a way from a place of informed place where we really understand? Because now you're talking about historical events and historical moments, quoting dates and events that happened in the past that brought us to where we are now. And a lot of people and the general population of Trinidad and Tobago is not aware of these things. And I'm thinking maybe now we need to ensure that it becomes commonplace that we ensure the education is done in our schools. Historical education for things that build our nation building instruments, songs, personnel. I know recently on social media, I think there's a group there that is every week they post something about somebody who passed, who contributed to the building of our nation. And I'm wondering now, how do we implement this in our schools, make it a part of our syllabus and a part of our daily lives to ensure we understand who people are, what the instruments are, what the culture is, and how we came to be where we are today?
Yes, and it's important to start that educational aspect in the schools. As you know, there is PAN in schools. There is we need to get it on our curriculum and not just as recreation. I think a lot of work is being done by the Ministry of Education, and so we really, really look forward to PAN in every school in Trinidad and Tobago. Let's put down that recorder and ensure that there are the mini PANs in school for our young children. The history must be taught about the born out of pain, born out of struggle, and now today it's a world-class instrument. We ask the question, what is the national musical instrument of Trinidad and Tobago? And every child will have to write the Steelpan, as they're doing now. We would have gone before the Parliament in July and to ensure that it is now law. It is in the law books of Trinidad and Tobago that pan is our national musical instrument. So it is protected by law. And now we have the geographical indication. We are protected by the intellectual property. And so that is a protection here for the steel pan. And so all of that information, we need to ensure that the population is aware, the schools are aware, and much more needs to be done. Because as I mentioned to you before, if you ask several of our students about these three ships, they don't even know, they don't have a clue. And when I talk about some young people are talking about, where is the Santa Maria and the Nina and the Pinta? I'm talking about the youths, 25, 18, 19, they don't know. But they know that there is a national musical instrument of Trinidad and Tobago. So the educational programs, the awareness programs, and all of that, we need to really push that. And most of all, we need to love up our culture. Pan is not just a black people thing. No, it is not. It is not. Pan is Trinidad and Tobago, born right here, invented right here. And I really, really know that the debate is going to continue. It is going to continue, but I think it's a proud moment for not only the people of Trinidad and Tobago, but for the diaspora. When you think about Pan going international in 1951 when Taspo went abroad with those little old single pan drums. And the people at that festival in Britain, they were amazed. They turned the pan upside down. They want to know what's going on underneath there and all of that. I mean, now having it as a national emblem, come on, man, Trinidad and Tobago, this is indeed interesting.
Definitely, definitely so. And of course, I must say congratulations to you having all of this done under your tenure there as the president of Pan Tobago. Many, many congratulations to you. And I know that it's a moment of pride for you and all in your organization, as well as all of us here in Trinidad and Tobago. Even though the conversation will continue, even though people will have opposing views, I know that it is a moment of national pride for all of us. So again, congratulations to you. Ladies and gentlemen, we are speaking with Mrs. Beverly Ramsey-Moore, president of Pan Tobago, as we speak about the inclusion of the steel pan on our coat of arms. Thank you, viewers, so much for staying with us even as we are having this conversation. We do hope that you can continue to stay with us and continue to be a part of the conversations that affect me, that affect you, that affect all of us here in Trinidad and Tobago and in the diaspora. We have to go for a short break before we continue conversations. And as we go, we invite you to help us. Share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.